What is the spiritual significance of our time? There have been massive shifts on the planet. In this video, I'm going to explain the shift that you've probably been feeling, especially over the course of the last few years, right? Ever since 2020, there's no denying it anymore that there is and has been and continues to be a massive shift in consciousness on this planet. I'm going to let you know what this means for you, how you can use it to the best of beneficial opportunities. Does that make sense? Because it does in my mind. And I know that this video is going to reach the right person. So by the end, I think you're going to have a clearer picture on how to navigate and what this all means. Number one reason why there's a spiritual shift happening on this planet and how you might be able to feel it. Maybe before 2020, you never spoke on politics. I know I never did. But after 2020, suddenly everything became political and there was no hiding anymore. In 2020, you might have started noticing because relationships began to shift, where you could have had a friend for 20 plus years and never discussed certain political agendas. But after 2020, you couldn't avoid it. So now you're breaking up your girlfriend over some Biden, or something, right? Because there's no ignoring it. There's just absolutely no ignoring it anymore. What your values are were broadcast in Spotlight edition, right? And a lot of people's values were shifting and changing because we were forced as a globe to look at what are your values? How do you believe you should navigate a scary situation? So all that came like a tsunami, right? The second shift that you might be feeling is that the only moment truly is now. This is not just a Hallmark card anymore. The time is now. So while in number one, you might have, noticed that you're now talking about politics. Number two is now you're confronting things and talking about things that you never wanted to before, that you thought that you could just sweep under the rug. I know for me, it was narcissistic abuse. I was like, I don't need to talk about that. Why do we need to talk about that lowbrow narcissistic abuse that almost killed me from cancer? And suddenly you're like, you know what? I got to talk about this. I have to voice what has happened to actually clear out that energy. Hiding it does not heal it, but bringing it out loud does. Now that's not always easy and it can be painful and you got to face it. Like the buffalo, right? You go right into the storm. I love that. I just heard this beautiful story about buffalo. Buffalo do not run away from the storm. Why? Because they know the quickest way through the storm is to hit it straight on. So number two, it's like you're the buffalo. You're going straight into the eye of the storm. Number three is that old way of being where you're like, it's already been done. Can't do it. It's already been done. I don't have something original. That old philosophy is out the door as well, right? Because it's a ridiculous notion. If people thought that, really, a lot of people, inventors, right? We would only have one cell phone. We would have the iPhone and that's it. But many people, after Steve Jobs created cell phones, right? They weren't like, oh, well, Steve Jobs already did it. Too bad. I wish I had thought of a cell phone. No, so many companies made their own version. So that old excuse that it's been done before is no longer going to work for you, right? That old habit. And the opposite is true too. It's never been done before. That excuse doesn't work either because now it's magnified to you that if no one's ever done it before, that really means that you're called to do it. If you have the insight to do it and no one's ever done it before, then you've been called to do it. Hello. And now I think you're coming into a time where you really realize that. Number four, absolutely coattails, the last one, but there's just absolutely no more excuses, right? So sometimes people think, in working with actors for the past 20 years, as an actor, as a director, as a acting coach, a lot of times I noticed people would say, oh, I don't have an audience, so I can't do it. Or I have too large of an audience, so I can't do it. Or that audience is too small, so I can't do it, right? I remember when I was producing stand-up comedy in LA many, many years ago, and some of the big comedians didn't like working a small room because this room that I was booking only could fit up to 50 people. And packed in there, it was really intimate. And a lot of comics who were used to playing like arenas, they didn't even want to come in and try out material in there. While other big comics would do it because they wanted the reaction of those 50 people. It was very intimate. They wanted to try out their material in that way. Some other comics thought, no, it's too scary. I don't actually like to connect and see who I'm talking to. So whether the audience is too small, you have no audience, or your audience is too big. You know, the other one is, oh my God, I have to speak in front of 5,000 people. I'm so scared of that. No audience, too big or too small, that's not going to cut it anymore. There is an audience for you. No matter what you do, if you're a jeweler, if you're a painter, if you're a musician, whatever artistry you create. And by the way, everybody is an artist. So it's also time to come into what is my artistry, right? And it doesn't matter if you don't have an audience at all right now. Your job is nurturing your gifts and talents and sharing them. Now there's a calling in you that you're like, I just need to create. I need to put it out there. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to do it. I know I have students, this is what's so exciting about what I do. So many of my clients have had massive results because they tackle this stuff. I was working with a musician who had never been on stage, but was writing music all the time. Now he's on stage. Now he's producing albums. No more excuses. The audience will find you. If you build it, they will come. Does that resonate with you? Write down in the comments if that resonates with you. No more fear. There is fear. There's always going to be fear, but no more fear ruling you, keeping you small. I love the story of Vincent van Gogh. Many of you might know this story, but Vincent van Gogh didn't even start getting on the map as an artist until 2 years before he died. People thought his work was not very interesting, it was too modern, just people had a lot of negative things to say about it. His brother Theo really believed in him, so was advocating and trying to sell his work. And then Theo died, leaving behind his wife and his little boy, who they named Vincent. So his wife, Jo, carried on the torch because she had hundreds of these paintings. She didn't know what to do. She wanted to continue on Theo's wish to celebrate and make Vincent famous because he was so talented. And Jo did exactly that. She ended up getting his work into museums. And then later, of course, Vincent, the son, Jo and Theo's son, Vincent, then created and helped found the Van Gogh Museum of Art. And all these different things happened as a result of one person getting out of their own way. And then it helped so many more people. So your artistry is not just about you. It's not just about the audience, right? Because people did not understand him at all. And Jo has a beautiful quote. She says, I am delighted after years of indifference from the public towards Vincent and his work to feel the battle has been won. By the time she died, Vincent van Gogh was world famous. The fifth thing that you might notice is that there's moments of synchronicity. So this morning when I was meditating on what video I wanted to do for you guys and what could be most beneficial for you, I was visited by my daughter's previous preschool teacher. My daughter is graduating kindergarten today. And her preschool teacher, right after we entered kindergarten, passed away. Her preschool teacher and I had a special connection because her daughter had passed away a week before her 21st birthday from leukemia. And her daughter had visited me in a vision. I had never even met her daughter. And I told Miss Carrie, my daughter Faith's preschool teacher, this. And we had this special connection. She asked me one day, she said, Leah, I don't have any artist friends. Could we have a date? I mean, it might be weird. I'm your daughter's teacher. I said, no, it's not weird. She says, I really want to go see the Van Gogh exhibit because my daughter and I had a special connection with Van Gogh. And we went to this immersive Van Gogh exhibit. Maybe many of you saw it. It was phenomenal. We sat in the middle of the place and the whole moving pictures of all of his work, his body of work that was so astounding. We were both in tears. It was absolutely beautiful. So this morning I had a vision of her and she said, you're doing a great job, and tell Faith congratulations. This morning when I was doing this video, Vincent van Gogh just popped into my head because of her. Moments of synchronicity. As I'm shooting this, I look over and I see that I have the poster, Vincent van Gogh, that I haven't framed yet from that show. I'm gonna frame this week. I was in tears. The message was so clear to me. Thank you, Vincent, for not staying in your own way and allowing the critics who didn't understand you at the time to make you stop or maybe throw away all your work. So let this be a message for you today to continue. Your audience is waiting for you. You might be getting all these naysayers saying you can't do it. People might not understand you right now. But if you're called to do something, do it anyway. The audience will catch up. Like Esther Hicks says, the timing is not up to you. You have gifts and talents to share. What's up to you is to keep sharing them. Keep sharing them. This powerful mastermind business group of leaders, conscious leaders that I'm in, says take consistent, committed, imperfect action. Let that be your mantra today. Keep creating art because there are gifts and talents that the world deserves to experience through you. There's only one you. And even if it's been done before, it's never been done through you. It's your time right now. This video helps. So much love to you. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if any other signs that you've been experiencing in this massive spiritual shift that we're undertaking right now. The time is now. Create, share. So much love to you. I'll see you next time.